Centuries ago, famed mathematician Katherine Johnson wrote, "The whole idea of going into space was new and daring. There were no textbooks, so we had to write them." Now, the United Federation of Planets stands on a new brink of exploration and learning, yet again pushing beyond the bounds of contemporary understanding, and for a new dawn proclaim proudly once again, these are the Voyages of.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Voyages of here on Rick and Rasp. I am Matt, and I will be running the game tonight. We'll be following the story of the USS Serenitis as it continues its mission to explore the Gamma Quadrant. We're using the Star Trek Adventures RPG rules from Modiphius. As a reminder, we are in no way affiliated with Modiphius. We just really enjoy their game. Tonight, I am joined by Jin, playing Commander Anbara Anya. Sarah is playing Lieutenant Commander Charlie, and then Sean is playing Lieutenant Commander Keed Haskins. Thanks for joining us tonight. Look down your bottom right. You got some channel points there just underneath the chat. You're welcome to use those. You can give us threat and momentum. Our momentum tonight is starting at 3, since we only have 3 players. However, our threat is starting at 9 because it's a very dangerous time to be looking into Rigelian fever. Don't forget to use those as you need to give our players stuff or give me things. You can also give out rerolls. Those are available as well. We do have a way to tip to put NPCs into the game, so don't hesitate to do that. If you have questions, please ask in chat, and we will be happy to walk you through that. Somebody will. We'll chase somebody down if I can't do it, but we'll be happy to get that all taken care of for you. Tonight, let me go ahead and read the captain's log, and we'll get started. There it is. Captain's log. The USS Serenitis is responding to a medical emergency on the Bajoran colony Beta Epsilon 7. There has been an outbreak of Rigelian fever, a disease believed to have been eradicated. Such a large number of the colony's inhabitants have been infected that the regular maintenance on several key systems has fallen badly behind, and we're sending an engineering team with the medical teams. Beta Epsilon 7 is a relatively lush M-class planet. It is obviously the 7th planet in a star system, although it is still relatively close to the sun. All the other planets are Pluto-sized because Pluto is in fact a planet. This is a hill I'll die on. I don't care. The 3 of you, as well as 15 engineers and a whole slew of doctors and nurses, have beamed down. You've been on the planet for the better part of a day. Commander Halata is around and has been helping coordinate, but there's a lot going on and a lot of people have been sick. And as much work as can be done is being done, but some of it is really synthesizing appropriate antivirals and making sure that the systems are getting back up and running. Anbara, you haven't been doing a whole lot of actual work, just pushing people in the right directions on where to do things and how to prioritize. Um, Charlie, you've been kind of bouncing back and forth between the engineering team and the medical team when they both have questions that are science related, if you can help. And Keith, you've been being a chief medical officer. You're not doing a lot of medical work. You're doing a lot of direction and making sure triage is going appropriately and answering some of the bigger questions. A small command tent has kind of been set up on the outside of the town. There's probably 4,000 inhabitants in the town, and then another 4,000 scattered kind of out through the countryside on the northern hemisphere. The planet is about half the size of Earth, so not a very big planet, but still lots of room for the people to have kind of spread out there. Um, and as you're kind of finishing up going through exactly what's going on the planet, Minkler shows up as one of the security detachments that's been sent down, just in case, because people get unruly. He says, "Doctor, that's you, Doctor. You have to hit your button so we can hear you."
What rank is Minkler? I can't remember.
He is an ensign, to the best of my knowledge. We have not given him any real rank, thank God.
Ensign it is then.
Yeah.
Is he actually part of the ship? It seems to show up.
Yeah.
Yes, Ensign. What is it?
Sir, we've the security team has detected an unusual transmission. And he pulls out a tricorder and he taps a couple of things and transfers it to what you guys have kind of been using as your computer bank. It's one of those table style computers that they have in engineering, and it brings up the readout. And I would like to get an engineering and insight roll from Anbara and Charlie.
That was insight and engineering?
Correct.
Okay. What is the threshold?
Difficulty is going to be 2. Yeah.
I got this. Feeling good.
I got let's see. I rolled a 1, so that's 3 successes, I believe.
Fantastic. That's correct. And
no.
Charlie gave us a. Did you give us a good old complication?
It's not only that I got a 0; it's that I rolled a 20 and a 16.
Fantastic.
So, starting off the bat with a complication, that's my gift to you.
So that's going to put you guys up to 4 momentum. As the transmission information comes up on the screen, Anbara, what you notice right away is that there's a component here that isn't just technology. It's almost like it's transmitting a biological component, and that's when the entire table shorts out.
What? Ensign, what did you do?
I
What did you do?
No, ma'am. I listen, and he hands you the tricorder, and you can still read it on there.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're seeing is that the biological component is not attacking the tricorder because the power cells are too small. But the power cells in the table are large enough that it could infect them and turn them off.
Did someone forget to renew the Norton?
I
like the idea that Starfleet is using Norton. Of all things that they could use, Norton is what they did.
Doctor, is it possible for biological viruses to evolve into I don't even know what the right word to use here would be.
Are you trying to ask if a virus like the Rigelian fever that we're dealing with could evolve into a electronic medium?
Yes.
No.
A technophagic virus?
All right.
I'm gonna look at Charlie would they say that and be like,
there
Yeah, I guess
are
it's possible.
some diseases where it's possible for them to interact with other things in different ways.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, that's what the Borg is a techno virus.
Yes.
Miners actually, they have several diseases which really affect them. I was reading a paper just the other day about how an evolution of the flu, as it, you know what, we're on a mission.
All right.
Talk,
Yes. So appreciate the tangents, but we have a bigger problem now on top of the problems we've already had. So I would like to hear ideas and solutions.
Doctor, can you give me a reason medicine roll? Biology would apply.
Okay.
It's going to be a difficulty of 3, and if one of the other players wants to assist, they are welcome to. I don't think that these are our medical officers, though.
No.
No, they are not.
Yeah. I will buy a dice if everybody's cool with that.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll put you down to 3 momentum.
So, in this case, saying run antivirus has 2 meanings.
Yes, it does.
Ooh, I got 4 successes.
Okay, so that'll put you back up to 4. 4 momentum. When you're looking at the biological component, it has some markers that look a lot like the Rigelian fever you're dealing with. In fact, now that you've seen this, looking back at the scans you took that you've seen of some of the patients, that Rigelian fever looks a lot like this, is the more accurate way to put it.
I'm not sure how this happened, but this techno version that took down our computer
Yes.
is identical to the scans that I've taken from our patients.
Fantastic.
I have no idea how that is happening. Maybe somebody has figured out a way to code it.
It's just, it is always the organic flesh parts that ruin everything.
Bara, could I get you to give me a reason engineering roll? It's going to be a difficulty of 3 again, but transporters and replicators is going to apply.
Okay. Can I also, do you guys find if I buy a dice?
Go for it.
Okay. I'm going to buy a dice also.
Fantastic.
So, and you said reason and what?
Engineering.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought, but I wanted to confirm. All right. Let's see. That would be 2 successes. 18 is not a crit fail, though, is it?
It is not yet.
Okay,
no.
cool. Yes.
So you just got 2 successes?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. So the thing that the medical team has not been able to do is pinpoint the origin of the Rigelian fever.
Okay.
The traders that came through last were about 6 weeks ago, and the fever showed up 2 weeks ago. So there's been enough of a time period between the two that
Okay.
probably did not transmit it.
Cool. Yeah, because that was going to be my question, is if we had been able to trace the source or not.
There is a small off chance
Mhm.
that if this virus, this technological virus, got into, say, the replicators,
Yeah.
it could have replicated itself into some food or something else consumed.
Okay. So can I do a roll to figure out what the best quarantine procedure protocols would be in this moment?
You can do that for the technology and for sure.
Yes.
that would
That's what
be-
I'm looking for.
Yeah. That I would say that's reason and engineering as well. It'd
Okay.
be a difficulty of 2.
Okay.
And then doctor, you could do the same thing just on your doctor end, and that's going to be reason and medicine with
Yeah,
a
I was
difficulty of 2.
Okay.
Would my electroplasma power system?
No,
Okay.
but
Or at least transporters and replicators?
yeah, transporters and replicators probably would, since you've kind of
3 successes on my end.
figured that part out.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I mean, I was
I got 2 ones! I'm gonna take a picture of this!
So our very excitable engineer has
I got
also
2 ones! That's a super
me too.
success!
I totally started the night 2 once, actually.
So you guys have gone through. You spend probably 20 minutes going through the data to find out if there's a way to kind of isolate this. What you figure out on your end is, you've already started the crew that came down on the appropriate antivirals for Rigelian fever. It won't be a 100% effective, but it will keep the virus from. Like you expected Rigelian fever, you prepared for Rigelian fever. This has some other component that is not Rigelian fever, so it's not going to be 100% effective, but it's basically as close as you can get without a lot more work. So you feel pretty safe with the crew here. Some of them might get a little sick, but the difference between Rigelian fever is a very bubonic plague-like.
Right.
So the difference between what they have on the planet and crew members is going to be like somebody might feel a little achy for a couple of days. Like that's the downside for the crew.
With the
antivirals that you already started
antiviral
before
on
you
board.
even
Okay.
beamed to the planet.
And then, how are the patients that were suffering from it? Are they responding to the antiviral we are expecting?
Slowly.
Okay.
It would also. It is important to note that the number of infected for a normal Rigelian fever is between 25 and 40% of a given population, and this is almost at 90% infection rate. And the 10% that don't have it, either probably had it early on and are no longer sick because their bodies survived and did their thing, or they have some sort of weird natural immunity that science still can't explain because bodies are weird.
Or they're like out in the back 40 and have had no contact with anybody recently. Right.
On the technology end, though, as you're looking, there is not really a way to quarantine anything without shutting everything down. This transmission is pervasive. It seems to be kind of blanketing portion of this continent. It could be triangulated and you could figure out where it's coming from. That's not an issue, but the only way to really quarantine the machines is to shut them down and make sure that they are not going to grab the virus and transmit it. So, for instance, the scanners, what do you call those? Tricorders.
Yeah.
May not be shut down, but they are definitely carriers now. So anything that's transmitting back to the ship, which it is,
oh no,
will also potentially infect the ship. But now that you know what it is, that should be something doable. You're not super concerned about that. It can be isolated and be dealt with, but it is an aspect that is concerning. That there's no way to stop this.
Okay.
Without addressing what might be the core cause.
Okay. So we can't. It's not a case of like, all right, let's turn off the replicators right now, and make sure people stop using those for food and stuff. It is already there. That ship has sailed per se.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we know? Can I have then, my team start doing what they can to isolate and scrub the ship if it is if it has like transmitted the virus to it?
Sure. Why don't you give me a presence and command? There is no focus that's going to apply here.
Yeah.
But kind of to direct the crew on the ship to start the proper procedures.
Anyone want to help? What is the threshold?
It's going to be a difficulty of 1. It's not that bad.
Oh, okay.
I'll help.
With your presence.
What's the roll again?
Presence and command.
Question: is a 19 a crit fail?
No, it is not. Not currently.
Oh, thank Christ!
Yeah, we are just on.
But I did get 1.
Fantastic. So you guys are already capped.
I got 1.
Yeah. So you guys are already capped. No big deal.
It's literally just like, hey, idiots. I require you to do something useful. Your jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you kind of instruct them on how to identify and then isolate and kind of run a new start building a new program to remove the virus from the computers, from the Enterprise's systems.
Okay.
You feel like the program, the virus, the technology into the virus itself is not super advanced, or dangerous. It's just it will shut things down. It
Okay.
just so happened that the power supply on the console you were using was the first thing it hit.
Does this have, since it does have a biological component, does this, for our science friend, does this have any markers to anything in existence? Like, because obviously this isn't the same Rajallian virus that we've heard about before, but like, basically, like, is there a way to determine if this was a bioweapon?
Sure, that's a good question. Why don't I have the doctor
Or Charlie?
Haskins roll reason and medicine. Charlie, why don't you roll reason and science, but as a helper, so just the one die.
Okay.
I'm guessing biology,
also,
xenobiology
I have
comes in.
something when they're all done.
Yeah, that's correct, Sean.
Okay, I'm really great. 3 successes on my medical.
Fantastic. 2, so that's 5
I got a
successes.
crit.
You guys are super like capped already, so we're just gonna stay right there at that 6. Yeah, so the Rigelian fever is there. This looks like a weirdly mutated Rigelian fever. You would need to take it to a computer that you could analyze it deeper on. The tricorders are just not built for like a deeper analysis. You could send the readings back to the ship, and they should be able to give you back information, but it might take a little bit of time. You also might be able to find a computer within the colony that would be able to do it as well if you wanted to do it by hand.
In the meantime, I'm also going to let Dr. Perkins, who was left behind on the ship, to start the crew on a prophylactic course of the antiviral.
Sure, that makes sense. What did you have, Charlie?
Charlie, upon taking all this information, and it's going to tie into one of my talents I'm going to be using a little bit. So, for putting together theory, this virus is programmed to survive. It's surviving at all costs. It's even going into different mediums. So when they mentioned how it was possibly a bioweapon, that is what Charlie's thinking. So Charlie is pretty much going to be trying to use whatever the tricorder he has until he can get a computer. Even though he knows computers are dangerous right now. Is looking for similarities to what Charlie might have been briefed on at Starfleet. What's the medical? That's not it. But the Science Academy, looking for like telltale signs. Like, is this a Klingon one? Is this a Romulan one? Is this a Cardassian one?
So, the mutations in question are not something that you're seeing that matches up anywhere specific. You might be able to get more information if you had a chance to analyze it with a computer. You're running into the same problem that the doctor is that just the tricorder is not built to do this kind of analysis. But what you can tell is that there is some sort of mutation, and between the two of you, you come to the conclusion that this started off biological and mutated into technological.
The second thing that Charlie's putting together, so it can use electronic mediums to go on to other places. Can I make a roll to determine if, like, how fast the computer is affects the spread of the disease? Like, if we put this into a computer on the ship, we can probably figure out its source really quickly, but it's pretty like crazy. Whereas we open up a whole back.
You're cutting out. You are cutting out a ton for me, and I'm not sure if it's just like the level your mic is set at or something. Check your setting. No, yeah, you just like kept cutting out every other word. So I really wanted to follow what you were saying, but I was losing you.
Yeah, it sounded like you were speaking underwater.
A little bit.
My reception's dropping off.
There we go.
Now you sound way better.
Way better.
Sorry, my reception's been really just like it keeps dropping at random times. So I apologize for that. So pretty much what I was thinking is that Charlie wants to know if the faster the computer this is analyzed on would read more quickly?
Potentially, like that's a trial and error kind of thing. You can get information from the science teams on the ship that if you ask them to analyze it, but again, that's going to take some time. Not a problem, but that would take probably a couple of hours to throw it into a couple of different computers that were isolated from the main system to see how it operated.
Then Charlie will talk to the science teams and tell them to do that.
That sounds like a good plan. Dr. Haskins, you get a chime from the ship.
Haskins.
Bing bong.
Yes, Dr. Haskins, this is the captain. We are going to go ahead and quarantine you on the planet until the antivirals have gone into a deeper effect on the inhabitants. There's some concern that this is a little outside of what we're used to.
Agreed.
So until further notice, your teams are to stay on planet. We're beaming down some overnight survival supplies as well as quite a few rations to make sure that everyone on the planet has food if they need it. Unfortunately, it will be rations, but food is better than no food.
Can you also please, Captain, make sure to include some additional medical supplies, medical tricorders.
Absolutely.
It's the only thing that seems to be working right now are our tricorders. So I'm hoping if we have some extra, we can actually maybe Umbara can figure out how to daisy chain them to get more processing power out of them.
Yeah.
I actually Tox has suggested that we send down another console, but break down the battery, the power supplies into smaller power bits, just more of them. See if that kind of counteracts the issue that we're having,
Perhaps
or that we've had with that one.
Perhaps we can research some sort of like polymer shielding to ensure the PSU cores are properly insulated.
That might also work. The captain knows nothing about engineering and science. That is way outside. Like, you just techno babbled at him. He's like, good, yeah. You do the whatever. That sounds
Sir, this is where it is okay for you to commend my genius.
I'm sure that will go into the report, Commander.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
I would encourage my senior staff. I know that Halada will be coordinating quite a bit down there. I would encourage the three of you to try and find the source of the signal.
Yes.
And did we come down with standard weapons?
Yeah, you guys. If you don't have phasers, there's enough security team around to grab some phasers from.
Okay, cool. Commander Charlie, did you need anything? Request anything from the ship while the captain is in such a giving mood?
No, other than the fact that we might also... real quick, Matt, what's the temperature like on the planet?
It's like 72 and breezy.
Probably like some slightly warm weather clothes for myself.
I just assumed that you two already wear, like, underneath the uniform you're in, like, insulated underwear every day. Because that's how you have to do it, because these Cubans keep the ship so damn cold.
Ugh.
So selfish of them.
It does feel, the sun does feel good. Like, it's not hot, but it is nice to get those actual rays on you. So
once we solve this, global crisis that could be a galaxy-wide pandemic, we should definitely get some rays on that sweet rock over there.
All three of us come from warmer climates, don't we?
Yeah, but Klingons aren't crybaby bitches.
It's the lizard
No,
thing.
we suffer.
Yeah, just quietly.
Stoic silence.
Yeah. I mean, some of us would say that's masochism, but
They are Klingons. That's kind of what they're into.
I wonder if we can perhaps repurpose the Borg phase shielding technology that we use to modulate our weapons and things to keep them from being assimilated. if that could be a way that we could protect these power sources.
Are you asking the captain that, or is that you
I'm
thinking?
thinking out loud in Charlie's general direction.
Why don't you guys give me reason and engineering from both of you? There's no threshold here. This is just to see how much you can put together on this. I would say.
Do we want to expose an unknown virus that went from biological to technological to Borg technology?
Oh no, this isn't Borg technology. This is a technology that
Oh,
was
the
developed to
shield.
fight.
Yeah,
You're right. Gotcha.
remember
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Picard is before us, or like
Yeah.
has already happened.
Yeah.
Not the show, but the captain.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because like Wolf 356 is already happened.
Yeah.
All of that. Yeah.
359.
Do
359.
I get my transporters and replicators, or
No, that's not going to
power
apply.
system?
I would say
Power system?
none of the stuff really
No.
applies.
Okay. Then 2 successes.
Okay, and Charlie, 2.
2.
You can attempt to. The shielding that you would require for that would have a higher power requirement, which would require power packs down here, which then like you'd have to protect them immediately. You could do it, but it would be it'd have to be a really delicate thing to get it in place before anything could be infected.
Okay.
It might just be a little too complicated.
Okay. So it's probably better to just set the team then to researching, metals and alloys that could be used for shielding.
Yeah.
Can we just leave it off the network?
Oh no, this is transmitting like.
Yeah.
Everything is wireless.
So it's the technological version of airborne.
Yeah. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because everything in Star Trek is literally linked on Wi-Fi. All of it.
Yeah.
There's no airplane mode?
Nope. Why do you need airplane mode? What's going to happen? Like
I think
a
it's called
technological virus?
shuttlecraft now.
Oh man, this is literally like the plot of episode 1 of Battlestar Galactica.
Kinda.
This is why we don't network the computers on the Galactica.
So a little peek behind the screen. Sometimes I know what I want to do. I just don't know the details of how I want to do it. And then somebody brings up something pre-game, and I'm like, you know what? That gives me a good idea. So Jen, this is all your faults. And
why am I so well versed in pop culture?
So yeah, there's plenty of things that could work out. And Charlie, like you're over there thinking much broader terms, I'm sure, but realizing that a lot of things are like that would take 3 weeks to implement. That would take 2 days to implement. Those are not options for right now. So Charlie's like running through a lot of options, and you can come up with a bunch of things that would probably work, or at least would help. But between now and when they would be implemented, you still have a lot of problem.
Okay. So.
All right.
Go ahead.
I say we get the equipment that we need, and then I'm going to start looking into the source of the signal, because when we can address that, I actually suspect things are going to get worse, because viruses, once they establish a foothold, they replicate like crazy and they evolve.
Yes.
So we're going to arrest this problem now that we need to find the source. So Charlie's going to sit down at the table and just start tippy-tapping. And Charlie's reasoning is that whatever the signal is, it has to be like pervasive, affecting like biologicals and technologicals. So I'm looking for a source, like any strange broadcast. And
so when you turn the tricorders into like tracking mode, which is essentially what they do every time, you recognize that there is the source of the signal is probably 3 kilometers away, to the northeast, where they've gone out that direction. There's some hills, but nobody's really settled out that direction.
I point on the map, like, I think it's in this direction. I'm not seeing any other settlements nearby or any outposts.
Can I double check to see if our data from the initial like patient 0 wave or whatever, like if that seemed to be like after doing the contact tracing and everything, like if roughly like was around that area or not?
What
Like cross reference.
you track the virus back to a set of replicators about 2 weeks ago
Okay.
that kicked out a bunch of food that was infected.
Okay.
And these replicators were in a kind of like a dining hall, almost like a restaurant, but not
Sure.
quite because there's no money. And they're using replicators. So like a big old replimat is essentially what it is, and it's a community area for everybody to kind of get together. And it's regular that chunks of the community get together there, and that's where it started. Doctor, what you recognize is once that happened, it then the virus became airborne biologically as well. So
Okay.
before that, it hadn't hit anybody. Once it was in their bodies, it kicked on and started replicating and essentially became airborne from there.
Okay.
This is an entirely Bajoran colony, right?
I would not say 100%, but like 99%.
Well, I mean, whoever started this colony, it was Bajoran at concept.
It is Bajoran, which makes it Federation.
Right.
Yeah,
Wait, I'm just. Can I contact? Oh, go ahead.
Well, just real quick, did we confirm it was the food that infected them?
You can. In fact, you can. Once the engineering teams look at the logs, they can see that component was added into all of that food that night.
Okay, because I didn't know if it was like secretly secreting a gas from the replicator.
No,
Okay.
no. It was definitely in the food that evening.
Okay. All right. So I suppose our next step then should probably be investigating the source of that signal. And yeah, like I would leave my the engineering team with the task of figuring out how to shield our electronics and write some sort of counter virus for any tech that's been affected so far.
The Commander Halata sends 2 security officers with you to go off and track this down. You get Levram, who is a crew member.
Cool.
And then, good old Minkler. Because we're not leaving him out. That's not happening.
He's part of the team.
Exactly.
Ensign Minkler, can you try to avoid being hurt during this mission, please? Every away mission you've been on, you've ended up in sickbay.
Doctor, do you think that I try and get hurt?
At this point, I'm not quite sure.
I
yes.
mean, like, you did refer me last time to a psychologist to make sure, and I was cleared for duty again.
Yeah, he said they said you didn't have a death wish.
Yeah, I think I picked up a bad penny. Maybe I don't know.
Is it more likely that when he goes on missions with us, we're the ones that end up getting him hurt?
No.
No.
I think I bring so quickly. No,
that's not. No. We didn't shove him in front of that phaser fire. I don't know what happened.
Obviously, if he was able to dodge better, then he wouldn't have been hit.
Exactly.
Yet, he just needs to get better at his job, right?
I don't know that you. I don't know that any of you know that. Anbara, you would. You're a commander.
Oh.
Minkler is a plant.
Oh!
He's Starfleet's intelligence.
Okay.
So some of the bumbling is accidental.
Oh,
but
yeah.
A lot of it is play, and it has been kept very, very quiet that he is Starfleet intelligence, but you have sufficient rank.
Yeah, I remember when we went over that in that episode.
It also seems, now that you've reviewed some of those reports, he has thrown himself in the way to protect the senior crew.
Oh, yeah. But I imagine that, to this character, still knowing that, she can't not give him shit.
No.
That it's weird of oh, this idiot.
Yeah.
Something's wrong.
I think
so-
Charlie's just going to assume that we need to protect Minkler at all
Sure,
costs.
that's fair. Yeah. So the 5 of you head kind of northeast from the colony itself. It's not dark by any means, but it is hitting that twilight where the sun has started to kind of crest. There is a light cacophony of insects that you've come to kind of expect on this planet. It's all what you're told is relatively normal. And as you approach the area and travel the 3-ish kilometers there, you do find on the tricorder some indications that at some point there was a crash here of a ship. The grass is all regrown. Nothing seems out of place, but there are metal, not even deposits, but like pieces of metal that have scraped off in a trail that goes off kind of into some heavier, bigger hills. So, trying to think, this isn't good reference for anybody, but like the hills of like southern Indiana kind of hills, where they're big hills. I know that doesn't help the people from Chicago or Houston. So I got nothing, but it's definitely, these aren't mountains by any means, but they are rugged hills for sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I drive through Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, you know all about those then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you kind of follow that trail, whatever crashed is gone, but there are pieces of it still there.
I mean, it's overgrown, but we can still see the scar of where this thing crashed, right?
Yeah. Now that you had you not had the tricorders, you probably wouldn't have noticed it. But it is definitely there now that you're walking through. What now?
Can we tell how big whatever impacted here was? Was it small shuttle?
You would have to say between a large shuttle and a very small craft, somewhere in that range. So maybe almost like a runabout size, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit smaller. Depends on how it hit and what angle it was at. But the deposits you're reading, though, can I get no, can I get Charlie? Because this is literally your job. And you actually are the science officer, so you get science officer benefits that I'm reminding you about. You're going to use the tricorder to scan, which is a reason science. And I forget what your science officer stuff does, but it gives you a bonus to tricorder use.
All right. So I'm reason plus science. Here we go. Boom.
Before you tell me, it is a difficulty. Before you tell me, it is a difficulty. It is a difficulty of 3. Do you want to spend any momentum?
I would like to.
Okay, so you spend 1.
Yep.
Cool.
3.
Fantastic. I definitely didn't see the 2 before you spent them. It's fine. I was going to tell you that anyway. Like, it is a difficulty of 3. You've got 3 successes. What you're picking up are Cardassian.
I knew it.
And Borg.
Oh, the 2 deadliest enemies in the quadrant joined together
in harmony.
Somewhere a Romulan is getting really pissed that you just said that.
So, I feel like Umbara just kind of pales at that.
Well, Charlie starts tripping over like, why? Because of the last war, we fight the Borg all the time, and not you Cardassians, but other Cardassians. These could be the bad kind of Cardassians, like the bad Cardassians we encountered like a year ago. Like those bad Cardassians. I love Cardassians. One of my closest friends is a Cardassian. You.
I'm not. I am not. They are not my people.
I just wanted you to say I'm not your closest friend, and I watched Charlie get devastated at their core.
Oh. Anbara isn't heartless.
Can Charlie tell from his results how old this crash site is?
5 to 10 years. The grass growth and the refoliage of the area wouldn't have happened any faster than 5 years. But the things around it are not broken down enough that it would have been more than 10. Again, you would need more kind of analysis power than your tricorders are able to give.
But this definitely predates the True Way. So this wasn't the True Way on a Bajoran colony.
Yeah, this would probably be very, very oh look, the wormhole. That would be somewhere around that range. And for it to be Cardassian on this side, the wormhole would have had to have been opened, which is right at 8 years ago.
Okay, good.
Can I examine the composition of the metals? Because basically Anbara's thought is if this was a ship that contained it, perhaps that we can reverse engineer these components to use for shielding for our stuff.
You could use your reason in engineering.
Okay. What would the threshold be?
We're gonna say a difficulty of 4. This is a pretty tough one.
Okay. Can I? Are we cool if I buy 2 dice? Because we're at cap, right?
No, you're at 5 out of 6, so
Okay.
you could definitely buy 2 dice.
Cool.
You also can always give me threat.
We'll see.
I already did that. I did that at the beginning.
Oh no, that's why the table broke. You broke the table.
Yeah, I figured.
And no, Minkler broke the table. It was fine, and then Minkler showed up, and it broke. No. So, do I get any of my foci from this?
Not really.
Okay. Then let's go. Oh no!
It's a good noise to hear.
So, the good news is that I got 2 successes, but I also got a complication. Can I do succeed at a cost?
Yes, you absolutely can.
Okay. But yes, you
So,
have
for the record, that's not a rule. I'm just going to let
Oh.
you succeed, and then I'm going to give you a cost because it's funny.
Okay. Well, so it's a mechanic in the
Is it?
Modifius Dune game. So I assume since this is also 2D20 that they have a variant of it in there.
If only
But
I had
I
written
have
for
it-
Star Trek or knew someone that wrote for Star Trek that
Right?
that could clarify that rule. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you can definitely succeed at a cost.
Okay.
So as you start to scan, what you pick up is that it is Cardassian plating.
Okay.
For a small shuttle. Or for a large shuttle, I guess would be. Maybe a personnel carrier, maybe just something going from one ship to another. Nothing dangerous.
Yeah.
It has been infected with the Borg technology. And as you're closely scanning it, you know how when someone is infected with the Borg virus, the thing pops and stars out?
Yeah.
Your tricorder pops a star,
Ah!
and then it begins to turn from the yellow and blues that you expect to see to green.
So she immediately drops it
I'm worried you were gonna be like, she throws it at somebody. Throws it at Minkler.
I mean, I imagine Minkler is probably just happens to be standing there by virtue of
Can we not turn Minkler into Borg? I don't think you guys want Minkler as Borg,
we
do
don't.
you?
We don't.
As soon as that hits the ground, I'm gonna phase it.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll let you go ahead and hit it. That's fine. Do you kill on kill or on stun?
No. It borged out. I'm killing it.
Okay. You fire. There is a small smoking crater where there once was a tricorder. For the record, your group is now 1 tricorder down, but not that big of a deal. Charlie, having watched that happen, or I'm sorry, no, Doctor, having watched that happen with your, science at a 3, which is a good number to have it as, you recognize that whatever is transmitting on a close scan can grab onto the technology potentially and essentially act as a virus in whatever it is. It's possible that the transmission overall is just kind of a pulse beacon.
Oh.
But now that you're scanning things closely and putting on a tighter band, it's allowing more of it to transmit.
So I'm going to look at Charlie and be like, so I think we have a bigger problem. This isn't so much the Rigelian virus that's been converted into a technological virus, but it has essentially made the Borg technology airborne.
That is a potential, especially with the nanites.
That's horrifying.
Yes, agreed.
Wait, so did you share like how it could be like it comes out of pulse, right?
Sarah, you
Could you
are breaking up
You're
again.
breaking up again. I don't know.
Not again.
You're fine again.
Better?
Yes.
Yeah.
For those tuning in, my reception sucks because I have a new.
Sarah is the Minkler of technology.
Apparently.
Oh.
So the did you share that it releases like a pulse that can like infect technology around it?
So the pulse itself is what's already affecting everything. The scan, the tight band scan that Onbara did is what caused the full virus to be able to transmit.
Oh.
Okay. So should we be worried about our comm badges?
They don't do a direct like a directed scan. So probably not. I mean, you'll know when it pops a little star and then you can shoot it.
Let's just whatever technology we have right now, which I mean is Star Trek universe, so it's a lot.
Yeah,
I think we just be very careful in the application of it.
Yeah, Chevrin was when Halada couldn't make it tonight, and I was going to invite somebody else. I was like, I'll invite Chevrin, and I was like, oh, Chevrin has artificial limbs. We're not doing that. That seems mean.
Doesn't he have an artificial eye too?
Yeah.
It
would have been the worst. I don't want to infect my one of my crew like that. That seems wrong.
I feel like at this point, like Umbara, who already was like tense and kind of like on edge because Cardassians are involved, is now like hearing that she can't use technology. It's just kind of like
it's okay. You can use old school technology. Beat it till it works.
What?
Bang it till it works. Just.
Can I get? There's no difficulty on this, but and there will be no momentum generated. But can I get an insight security from everyone?
Oh, God. That was the best of both worlds. I rolled a 20 and a 1.
Fantastic. So we'll go with that 2. I'm just going to take that one as threat. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Puts me at 10 threat.
Hate that for us.
I'm really enjoying all of these complications you guys are rolling, especially since we're about to increase the complication range. But we won't do that yet. As you are looking over the crash area, you're not so much scanning directly anymore as like passively trying to pick things up. There is a clear drag line for what had to have been heavy materials into a cave.
We have to use our ocular inputs to scan this area.
The drag line itself looks just as old as everything else, and it looks like it was full pieces that were dragged across, not chunks of broken bits that fell off, like you're kind of seeing in the rest of the crashed area.
We have phasers. Yeah, you mentioned that earlier. So
yeah, sure. You guys are definitely the ones to be using phasers. You're all very fighty focused.
Hey, I'll have you know that Charlie was a velociraptor. all day. They're like the most fighty of dinosaurs.
Anbara is more than happy to have Mingler go first.
What was there? I'm trying to remember. There wasn't a huge Borg presence in the Gamma Quadrant, correct?
There's no Borg presence. Well,
So this would have
until
been
now.
There would have been a Cardassian ship infected in the Alpha Quadrant that somehow stumbled into the wormhole, crashed here. Okay, I'm just trying to, as a player, set my mind in that space.
I know the answer out of character. I wouldn't know it in character.
Right, exactly.
So I take it you're following the drags
with our
If
phasers out.
Okay, yeah.
And that is the source. The drags are the source of where the transmissions.
You
know that?
Yes, that is the more you guys. So again, directed scans, bad idea. In a broad sense, that away.
It's
so
still that way. Gotcha.
As you approach the mouth of the cave, it gets colder quickly, uncomfortably cold for all three of you. Even the Klingon who's used to it, like this isn't fun anymore.
Is it normal?
I'm sorry?
Is this normal? Does this planet have that kind of temperature change?
No. Something seems to be emitting cold from inside the cave.
Oh, we're actually in the cave now.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is as you're approaching the entrance to the cave, you're feeling this cold kind of come out of the cave.
That's not right. That's not normal. Are you going to be okay, Charlie?
I will do my best to endure. Because that's what needs to happen for us to save all the people back in the colony.
As you enter the cave, the first thing you see are as the light kind of comes in, are the feet of two face down bodies, kind of just inside the cave area. They look like they might have been walking next to each other, but they are definitely on the ground. Can I get I assume the doctor's gonna go check, right?
Yeah.
So they are both definitely dead. From a quick scan on like the most basic levels, they've been dead for 8 or 9 years. They were both Cardassian, and the bone pattern in the forehead of one of them is very similar to Anbara's.
And I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry because you are
Did
only
I break
half
it?
Cardassian, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
She-
and I'll say what I'm like. Well, one of these is definitely full Cardassian, but the other one seems to be half Cardassian.
Oh no! They're both full Cardassian.
Oh,
The bone structure of Cardassians changes from Cardassian to Cardassian.
Gotcha. I'm sorry.
Picked up on like their subtleness, but like you can see in the bone structure that it's very similar to what Anbara has.
Oh, like related.
Yes.
do you have any missing family that you know about?
Is that a serious question?
Yes, all of them.
All of
Yes.
them. I mean, not exactly in a joking mood, but I mean, peculiar that this might possibly be a relative of yours. I know that's a touchy subject.
My father disappeared some years ago, presumably because his kind was not welcome on our planet.
His kind.
Yes.
Doctor, as you're kind of like standing there talking, you roll the body over onto its back, and you do see kind of the tricorder picks up the comm badge from it, and it reads the name. You know the name as Anbara's uncle.
I'll just show her what the tricorder's putting out.
Does she know this guy?
Yeah. So what you know is that sometime after the war ended. So you were raised on Bajor,
Bajor,
kind
yeah.
of like as an outcast, but eventually kind of accepted and just
Tolerated
left to
mostly.
do to your own thing because nobody
Yeah.
wanted to deal with you. But some other half Bajor and half Cardassians befriended you because there was a little bit of a community there.
Yeah.
And one of them kept in contact, kind of back channel like, with family on Cardassia and kind of kept you updated on just things about your family. Your uncle was on a Galar class ship that went into the Gamma Quadrant on just survey work. It was shortly after the wormhole opened, and it was part of the Federation and the Bajorians trying to like be open and communicate with the Cardassians. The ship came back, but was missing your uncle, and that was 7, 8 years ago. It's hard to pinpoint exactly when that might have happened because it was all third-hand knowledge kind of stuff, and you heard about it probably 6 months after the ship came back, maybe longer. And that they there's no official record of how many crew members were missing, but at least your uncle was.
Yeah, so she kind of relays that information, but in a very, like, sort of, like, almost robotic kind of matter-of-fact tone. Just, yes. So, I suppose now we know what happened. And
Can I get Haskins, can I get you to give me a insight security roll? It's going to be a difficulty of 2, and I know you're absolute not good at this.
Yeah, but does stress disorders apply to this at all?
No, not at all.
Should I? Yeah, because I'm not good at this, guys, so I'm gonna buy a dice.
Yep, that'll put you guys down to 1 momentum.
Ooh, is that okay? I don't want to shortchange
We
it.
still have
that's
plenty
fine.
of threat you guys can give me, don't worry.
I thought you were a cat.
Not on threat. There's no cap on threat.
Ah!
Yeah, apparently I don't notice anything wrong, Matt, because I got no successes.
So as you're scanning it, something pings on your tricorder. You look at it, and you're not sure what it means. It's just a couple of symbols. And Winkler looks over your shoulders and says, "Oh, that's interesting." And then looks at Onbara with an eye.
What?
He was Obsidian Order.
Oh no. Were they monkeying around with
So,
freaking Borg tech?
worse
Idiots.
than that, it means that the Borg would have assimilated all of the information he had.
But does he look like he's been assimilated, though?
He has not.
Oh, thank fuck.
From the cursory look, you would have to guess blunt force trauma is what killed him.
And the other one as well, as
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Okay.
Yeah. And by blunt force trauma, I mean like the neck on both of them has been snapped as though struck with something thin but not bladed, kind of in the back of the neck. And for Cardassians to be broken like that, it had to have been hit with an amount of force that would kill a Klingon. Like their neck muscles are incredibly strong.
Right.
And then they have plating on top of that. Like they were hit in such a way that like literally a Mack truck could have hit them and it wouldn't have done this.
I'll relay that back so everybody knows that there could be something serious here besides the Borg.
Okay. So we have we have Borg, we have some sort of Black Ops mission, and something capable of defeating 2 Black Ops operatives in quick succession. Am I understanding the situation correctly?
So,
It appears that way.
Is there any evidence on them or around the area, like as to what they might have been trying to do and staying
You'd have
behind?
to get kind of farther into the cave and pull out some flashlights because you are just getting that little bit of light,
Mm,
and on top of that, the sun is starting to actually set now.
okay,
So the little bit of light you've got for these two bodies is kind of gone.
And as
gotcha.
we shine our flashlights down, do we still see those drag marks that we're following going farther
Yes,
into the
and
cave?
they are. You would have to guess probably 4 foot across because there are scrapes in the stone that suggest that it was heavy. And as you're kind of following them into the cave, a couple of things happen. First, we're going to move the complication range from 20 to a 19 to 20. So
Mm.
anything that you roll there is going to do that. I'm going to spend 4 threat to set this scene.
Real fast,
Yeah,
while we're still by the bodies, is there, because Jen does not remember if there is, what the Cardassian death rituals are, but, I
you are required to scream in agony. Actually, that's
really?
actual. That's actual canon.
Uh,
But also, that's with the understanding the Cardassians come from pretty warrior centric like society. So
Mhm.
not now.
Okay.
Like now is not the time, and that's understood.
Okay, cool. Cause I feel like it's one of those things where like she wrestles with it because of very complicated born in war feelings, uh,
Yeah,
but would
yeah.
observe like those rights. Um, okay, cool.
So as your flashlights kind of follow the tracks on the ground, and you look up into the cave, you see several things. There is a working transmitter. Um, it is Cardassian in origin, or it was at one time. It is now very much Borg. There are the beginnings of alcoves being built inside the cave itself. It looks like the entire ship, has been disassembled and drug in here.
Mm.
And there is some sort of contraption at the back, and it is clearly kicking out the cold you're feeling. And the Borg bodies you see inside that are Cardassian or in origin are all half frozen and inanimate, and there are probably 8 of them.
Oh,
Some of them are
is it the
part.
cold?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is it the cold that kept us from scanning for? Because we would have, when we scanned the planet, surely a
It's
Borg's signature
the
was.
cave here has some strange deposits of very heavy metals that are blocking this particular. It's essentially a lead line cave, is really what it comes down to, which is also probably why the transmitter has not called the Borg here.
Good thing. Good thing.
okay.
Um, so there are 2 bodies that are partially um, have partially begun to change, and then there are 6 bodies that are definitely full Borg. All of them still in Cardassian military uniforms. A couple of them, now that you know what you're looking for, you do see the Obsidian Order mark on them. And in some of the wreckage, Charlie and Dr. Haskins, you both recognize a containment pod for something that would be an animal that had a virus, or a virus itself, to kind of keep it contained. It has been broken open, and it is Cardassian and oranges as well.
Okay, I kind of want to examine the container, but I know that's risky. So if you guys want to keep your phasers ready, I'm going to go over and check the container.
Actually, let's back up for a second, Charlie. So you posited a theory earlier that this was some sort of biological attack. You are a potentially biological attack. Now that you've kind of seen the scene, it's the transmitter. That's the problem. If you can shut that off, then all of your technology stuff might be usable.
But I'm just going to guess it's probably not going to be as simple as shutting off the transmitter. But we're going to try. Do I see any like power cables leading to the transmitter?
The transmitter seems to be powering itself.
Okay, that's so good.
Can I get a science and reason roll from you? Difficulty of 2? And we're going to call subspace fields as a focus.
Sweet. Also, because I was testing a theory earlier. I guess I have to succeed first. Once I succeed on this, I can get an extra time. All right, so here we go. So well, this class. 2.
Fantastic. That's what you needed. So what you're recognizing here is the transmitter is powering through some sort of subspace field the cold unit, and the cold is what's powering the transmitter. They are converting the lack of warmth into power.
Wait, so it's absorbing all the ambient heat, and that's what's creating the cold?
No, the cold itself, the machine creating the cold itself is what's powering the transmitter. They've somehow jury-rigged this thing to power itself off of cold, which is pretty ingenious, but also, now that you've seen that they're all Cardassians, also probably what stopped them from doing anything, because Cardassians can't operate at this level of cold for very long.
So if it's absorbing the heat and turning it into energy, which is making it cold, I'm not sure if a phaser blast would disable the machine or give it the energy it needs.
If you turn off the transmitter, it will eventually turn off the cold creation machine.
Yeah.
Which would then allow the Borg to wake up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you turn off the cold machine, it's going to turn off the transmitter. They are working in tandem.
And
can we disable the Borg before we turn off the transmitter?
Doctor, you know of a couple of techniques that you might be able to use. It would kill the Borg, for sure. 100% murder them. They basically have to take out a couple of specific organs that have been implanted, and it would destroy the host at the same time as disabling the Borg. There are other ways to do it. You would literally need the ship.
And the thing is, at this point, the Federation definitely has technology to reverse what's been done to them.
Potentially. It depends on how long they've been assimilated, and given the freezing part of it, that it could be however long it was from the time they got assimilated to freezing, or it could be from the time they got assimilated to now. And you're not sure, because Borg physiology is still real unknown.
Yeah.
Right.
There's also the point that, we don't know, since this isn't proper cryostasis, that we don't know how much of, the organic parts would have atrophied because this is imperfect cryostasis.
That's also true. They
But
look relatively healthy for really cold Cardassians.
Yeah.
I'm betting, this is Keith talking, and I would be willing to bet a good bottle of blood wine that while they're shut down, there's enough Borg assimilation that as soon as it starts to warm up, they're going to just pop right back up.
Yes. So it is my opinion that for the good of everyone present, as well as everyone in the colony, that we should disable them if possible, because again, what very likely, given the conditions that they're in and roughly how long they've been in stasis for, it is very likely that whatever wakes up will not be what salvageable for what they used to be. And there is no Cardassian that would want to continue to be alive in this state.
So you're asking me to perform murder?
It is a mercy.
I don't know. This feels really complicated. We don't really have their consent to terminate them.
And if these are really obsidian, and if these are really obsidian orders, this could be a huge plus for the Federation.
So, the risks are very high. Are you willing to risk our lives, all of the people in the colony, and our ship, as well as all of the information and secrets that we have being assimilated into the Borg, should this go awry?
Well, that's the thing. We could take our time here. We're inoculating the population. We are isolating the computer. We know that as long as we don't do 2 focused scans, that the poor technology isn't transmitted. I think we have time to make some decisions without rushing in and murdering these Cardassians. Cardassians. God, I hate when I do that. These 8 Cardassians. At the very least, we could backtrack to the cave opening and this whole time they haven't moved. There's been no changes, right, Matt?
None whatsoever.
We could go back and get the captain's thought on this. If the captain orders us to terminate these Cardassian Borg entities, I will try to argue for it because I think we can save them, and there is no greater glory than to pull someone back from the Borg, personally.
I just know that Cardassians would not want to live as slaves.
Yeah.
Out of character. Ironic.
Ah.
Yeah.
I guess it falls down to the ranking officer.
Yeah. So yeah, like
So I would say this: if you order Keed to terminate the Borg that are there, you're likely to get court-martialed.
Oh yeah, no. I mean,
Okay.
like she is just saying her personal opinion, but like the medical stuff isn't her thing.
Sure. Yeah. Also, Keed would also get court-martialed because he'd be violating the Federation version of the Hippocratic Oath.
Yeah.
But Charlie's in the clear.
Charlie's in the clear.
I mean, that is one of my values that I'm playing off of.
Yeah.
Driven to ease suffering. So, I mean, there is an argument that mercy killing would apply, but I don't think that we're at that point yet.
Okay. I trust in your expertise if you believe that this is possible to be done in a safe way. It does make me very uncomfortable for a variety of reasons that I have stated. But I we have been serving together on the Serenitis for how long, and I have faith in your capability.
1 season so far.
I mean, honestly, it's probably been about a little over a year at this point.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, if it's just between the 3 of us, I think this is a little above our pay grade. I know we don't get paid, but this is a command decision that we might need to run up the chain of command.
Would it be safe to contact the Serenitis outside the cave, given the creepy Borg technology popping out of the phasers, or will we need to move further back?
The best of your knowledge, at this point, the only thing that has activated the the beacon was a directed
Okay, cool.
scan.
All
But
right.
to play,
Yeah.
Keith will say, but to play it safe, before we use the communicator, why don't we set it on a rock, then push it?
I don't. There are so many things that I could say in this moment, but I will not.
Like, that's a great idea, or kudos to you for coming up with it. You've changed how I view problems in the future, or
So you guys are backing out of the cave?
Yeah.
yeah.
So you guys back out of the cave, kind of to where the drag marks started to go in. Who is contacting the Serenitis?
I will, but I would also like, because we didn't super analyze the drag marks to determine if, like what made them, right?
Oh, the ship itself was out here.
Yeah.
It was disassembled and drug into the cave.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they were repurposing it in there.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Because I wanted to make sure, I wanted to know basically if it was the Cardassians that did it or whoever killed those guys.
It was the Cardassians, and
Okay.
now that you've seen the cave, you're gonna guess that the Cardassians were killed by the Borg.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. So let's ring in the Serenitis.
You tap your communicator,
Mhm.
and it immediately assimilates,
Ah!
and so does every other communicator with you. And as the five of you quickly rip off your communicators, flashlights are dropped. The night is dark. The insects, the crickets have stopped, and we're going to take a 10-minute break. So we are going to take a 10-minute break so we can all stretch our legs. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Don't forget to follow us. That's a button right down below us. It's actually probably right there. Once you hit the follow button, you get the subscribe button. It pops up after that. If you have Amazon Prime, you can always... Oh, I'm over here. I'm talking to the wrong camera. You can click the button right below me to follow. Once you do that, you can click subscribe. You can subscribe for free with Amazon Prime. That doesn't cost you any money. It takes a little bit of money away from Amazon. It gives it back to us. I don't know what their shell game is here, but we get money out of it, so yay. But we will take a 10-minute break, and then we'll be back with the rest of this story. So we will see you in just a few minutes. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Voyages of. Hey, I've got some great friends that are doing a Kickstarter right now for a role-playing game called Covens and Crucibles. I would really appreciate it if you went over and check that out. That is tinyurl.com/Covens and Crucibles. It is a urban fantasy setting RPG, and they are really good people, and they've already hit their goal, but they've got plenty of other stuff to come. They're working on stretch goals to kind of expand the world a little bit more. And it would be great if people could go over and check that out. I guess I could paste that link into the chat. That would be super helpful. It is tinyurl.com/Covens and Crucibles. They're in the chat. And then we are back next week on Monday. And Sarah, you're running the game.
I am.
Surprise. No, Sarah's running a piece of the Fraction where I will be playing, and no one else that's currently playing will be playing, but other people will be. So I'm sure that Sarah will make Talks cry again, and it will be all fun and games for Sarah.
And I think the game will start off with the head of engineering and medical being murdered. So
Assimilated?
Assimilated.
or assimilated.
We're recovering assimilation.
So
although to be fair, I feel like, you know, if Umbara could keep her individuality, gaining Borg parts probably would be a benefit to her.
it's kind of it's kind of her aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
A little Borg boo.
Yeah, like the closer I can get to being a Warhammer 40k tech priest, let's go.
So we got that coming up next week, and so check that out and come back for that. Let's get back into the game. I'm going to start by spending 2 threat. You're welcome. Don't you like that?
No.
As the complication range goes up yet again to an 18 to 20.
Ooh.
As everything kind of goes dark and the lights that you had point off in directions that are very unhelpful. All of the insect noise that you had heard is gone, and what you hear is skittering. Tiny little feet across stone.
What is Charlie's? Okay, Charlie is also commander. Commander, I don't exist in nature very often. What do you believe that could be?
You want to give me let's say insight. Let's say insight security. That's insight science. Let's go with insight science for me. Difficulty at 2.
That's saying, I'm sure a doctor would have studied biology, but no. The nerd would know what this is.
The science guy, yeah.
Well, I was thinking from the Klingon perspective, I'm like going, there's a predator.
3. Okay, so that puts you guys back at 2 momentum. You're not hearing animal feet. You're hearing metal feet. It is metal click-clacks on stone.
Some kind of robot spider, I'm guessing. Pulling out my phaser.
Yeah, phaser.
I assume you guys scoop your lights back up and start looking around.
Yeah.
Both Anbara and Charlie, I need you to give me let's call it control and half reason rolls.
Oh no.
There's a difficulty of 3 on this. The Klingon is not
control and
half of reason.
Okay.
Oh, I'm really good at this apparently.
Yes.
2 dice?
Yeah.
And the threshold is what again?
What did I just say? 4?
4?
Yeah.
Okay. And do we have to add them together, or?
So you'll take your control, then take half of reason, add them together, and you roll under that.
Okay. Can I buy a dice?
Absolutely.
Are you guys cool with that?
You should definitely
Please
do
buy
that.
dice.
All right.
I'm not saying this is all up to you, Jen, but this is all up to you.
Okay. So do I get any of my foci with this or no?
Absolutely not. Nope.
Okay. Then I have gotten 3 successes.
Okay. Well, individually, you did not get 4. The cold is starting to affect you. That is all that roll is for. The cold has kind of eaten into you. The sun is gone, so you can't even feel the sun rays. The planet is probably 65 degrees, but you've got a chill in your bones.
Question.
Answer.
Since my character is half Bajoran, could that lower some of that cold threshold so the 3 would be fine?
According to the rules,
Okay.
you have the trait Cardassian, and so all things that apply to Cardassian apply to you. Just
Okay.
like Haskins has Klingon and human, so everything that applies to Klingon applies to him. So yes, you're probably not as affected as a regular Cardassian would be. This is really just you feel the chill in your bones. It is uncomfortable for the two of you. Klingons, while they don't like the cold, are not nearly as affected by the cold.
Are there any? So we're in front of the cave entrance, right?
Yeah.
Is there any like loose piles, like a big boulder or a big rock sitting nearby?
Sure, why not?
I'm just gonna do a 3-second phaser blast into the rock to provide some light and some warmth.
Ooh,
If I can.
sure. Let's call it daring and security for that.
Okay.
We're gonna call it a difficulty of 3 to get the right setting to do exactly what you want.
Daring and security.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many dice do we have for?
We have 1 momentum. You can always give me threat. I only have 4 threat, just FYI.
It's 2 successes. I don't have any focuses that apply. So yeah, 2 successes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you fire on it. You do. So choose fire, light, or warmth. Which one do you want?
We have light with the flashlights. I'm gonna give warmth so that maybe Charlie
And now Charlie and Ambar are just like smashed up against the rock, sucking up the heat. The warmth does kind of fill the area around you, but there's that like occasional breeze of cold air that comes through and hits you pretty hard. So yeah, as you guys are standing there, you hear Meekler say, should one of us go back to the colony or all of us?
You know what? If this thing's active, it might be preying on the colony as well. So having someone go back to one colony would be a good thing.
Okay. From a security perspective, whatever is skittering about, and like at this, like she looks at Vinkler. Do you think that it is possible that it could follow whomever we send back? Because I don't want to risk leading it directly to defenseless people.
Yes, I would expect that it would.
Okay.
It's going to look for more of us after it gets done with whoever's here, I would expect. If it's going to act like Borg.
Okay.
We're in the dark. We have no communicators, and our tricorders are useless.
Yes.
Can I get everybody to give me a fitness security roll?
Oh,
There
great.
is no there's no difficulty for this. This is just really what do you guys notice?
Nothing. I have to rely on my ocular inputs? How dare?
2 successes from two complications.
Oh God.
Dos.
3 complications.
This is fantastic.
And this is how we all die.
I
got one success. I got 1 success, but a complication.
I love this. That's fantastic. Did you get any successes? No, on Bar did not. So Charlie, right as it happens, you see like a 5-legged spider-like machine thing, probably the size of a softball leap off of the ground and onto the leg of the doctor, right at the tricorder, and then you see it stab with what you thought was a leg and must be something else, who knows, into the tricorder, and the tricorder begins to assimilate.
Kill it!
What? Ah! God! Get off!
Oh God, Charlie is gonna panic fire.
Oh no!
No, that's
My
great.
leg.
Go ahead and roll fitness and security. I really want this. Please, please, please
No!
shoot somebody.
If you could do me a favor, Matt, and close my character sheet. No reason to doubt. I have a 10 both that.
We did not hear that.
No, yeah. What did you say?
I got 1 success.
Okay. So you fire and do not shoot the doctor. You don't hit
Yay!
you don't hit the thing though. The tricorder crawls out of his pocket and begins to grow spindly legs as it moves around. Minkler takes a shot and hits it. It does not seem to slow it down.
Oh no.
I also shoot it.
Umbara's gonna try to modulate her phaser based on, the first contact modulating.
Sure. Can you give me reason and engineering for that?
Yes.
Difficulty is going to be a 2.
Okay. 2 successes.
Fantastic. So you modulate your phaser, and do you want to fire at it?
She's very bad at it, so she's gonna hand it to the security officer. Use this.
Levram, who is Cation, snatches it out of your hand and shoulder checks you out of the way a little bit, not hard, but just a little, and fires on the tricorder, hits it solidly. It stops moving, and that's when you hear Minkler cry out.
Oh no!
He is laying on the ground and has a gash up his up his thigh. It's probably 6 inches long, and it looks deep.
All right.
I'm gonna run over there,
Yep.
Power slide on my knees, ground to him, rip open his pants a little bit to get a better view of the gap, and I'm gonna pull out. I'm not gonna use a lot of technology. I'm gonna go frontier medicine, emergency medicine, and I'm just gonna start stitching that up. Or not stitching. No, this frontier.
You know what you could
some kind
do?
of adhesive,
So what you could do is you could just put a strip of the cloth on it and then phaser it on. You can fix that later. It'll keep the wound closed and keep it from bleeding out. You can fix it later.
Yeah. Okay.
Umbara will hold him down because Cardassians are strong.
This is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
It's gonna get fixed later, but you'll live. What am I looking at for successes?
We'll call it 2.
2.
And we're gonna call this daring and medicine. Just as a reminder, because you have the talent, bold medicine means that if you give me threat, you get to re-roll a die. If you give me a threat to get an extra die, you get to re-roll a die.
Does Charlie have engineering stuff?
Yeah, Charlie's an engineer.
Okay, awesome. Then while Umbara is holding Minkler down, she'll order Charlie to start modulating the other phasers to work on the
Now that you know the modulating setting, Charlie, you can go through pretty quickly and modulate the other 4.
So since I'm attempting to do things without proper medical equipment, would field medicine come into play so I can ignore any increase in difficulty without proper tools or equipment?
Yeah, sure. So that'll drop it down to a 1.
Sweet.
Are you giving me threat for an extra die?
No, because with that going down to 1, I rolled a 4, which is under my medicine.
That's fair.
That's
so you got 2
successes.
How many complications?
None.
Oh, I just assumed. Sorry.
No, I rolled 16. We're not at the 16 for complications. I rolled a 4 and a 16.
Okay. So yeah, you cauterize that onto him really quick. Charlie, can you give me a fitness security roll? Difficulty is 2.
I want to use a point of momentum because
Yeah,
Sure.
do
That'll
it.
put us down.
So,
That does put us down to 1 momentum again.
So far so good. Okay, so it's 3. I got 3.
You got 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of those will generate momentum. The other 2, you dodge out of the way as one of these spider things leaps at your face, and kind of like lands and rolls next to you, and just have enough like presence of mind to shoot it. Like you swing you're working on a phaser, and as it lands, you just turn and fire and hit it pretty solidly, and it stops moving. But now that it's up close, that's somebody's comm badge. You're not sure whose.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Well, the tech we dropped just became our enemies.
Uh-huh.
So that's what, 5 comm badges that assimilated?
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh.
You've killed 2, or you killed 1 in a tricorder.
Great. Hate that.
And apparently the phasers aren't assimilating because they don't have any reception receiver.
Yeah. Essentially the tricorders were not activated to do communication, which is what you did when you chimed the communicator. That's why.
Right.
All right. Form a perimeter around us. We're gonna
Around us? You mean around Minkler?
Yeah. We have God, yeah, how many left?
4 comm badges essentially.
Okay, yeah.
Did we kill the original one that transformed my tricorder?
No, you just killed the tricorder.
Okay, so 5 total possible.
No, no. So you had 5 comm badges and a tricorder. You killed a tricorder and a comm badge. You got 4 comm badges.
Right, but I'm saying the original thing that attacked my tricorder is still out there. So essentially, we know that there's still 5 things out there.
Yeah.
At this point,
I'm still counting 4.
Well, the original thing that assimilated my tricorder is a bug or whatever we want to call it.
Right.
So 4 communicators, and then whatever assimilated my tricorder is still running.
Oh, that was another communicator.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
You just didn't get a good enough look at it to recognize
Gotcha.
that.
I thought it
Sorry.
was
I'm
new.
trying not to make this too hard and give you 37 enemies to fight. We're just sticking with 4 right now. Don't worry.
Okay.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
We'll take on 37.
Oh, sorry.
As the 3 of you, as the 4 of you form up kind of around Minkler, Doctor, you take note that something has skittered into the cave.
Oh, there goes my plan of going to the cave entrance because we're like completely undefended out here.
Is Minkler stabilized enough to walk?
Yeah, he'll be able to limp along. I would like to point out real quick that technology just went into the cave that is Borg related.
Yes.
And the first thing it's going to do.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as we're all on the same page there.
All right.
No,
So,
we're all waiting to move. So
as they're getting Minkler up, I'm going to holler out, look, it's probably one of our assimilated tricorders. That's not good. We need to go.
Yeah.
In there now. Stop it.
Yeah. So remaining security officer, lead the way. I guess.
I have a theory.
Who is the least bad at shooting should guard our flank. In case things from the outside try to jump us from behind.
It's not the doctor.
Yeah.
It's one of you two.
I've got my house dagger, and I'm better at hand to hand. I could try the stabby stuff.
Okay, that's fair. I guess I will pick up the rear.
Okay. So where are you guys headed? Into the cave?
Yeah.
Okay. You hear once you get into the cave, the 2 of you are away from that heat source again, and you're feeling that cold. You keep hearing the skittering. Just like you'll catch just a glimpse of something with a light, but it's not there when you move. You hear it up on the walls for a moment, and then you hear that crackle of electric, like an electric jolt, and it flashes from over where the transmitter is.
Okay, I think I know what's going on. I think I know what's in game. I'm going to run over there. You know what? We've got to get rid of it as fast as possible without hitting the transmitter. So Charlie's going to do something super stupid. He is going to use both his hands and try to rip off the transmitter.
All right, and do what to the transmitter?
Rip the device, the machine off the transmitter.
Okay. Give me. We'll say daring and security. It's a
Pretty
smidge-
daring.
It's a smidge better.
Just a smidge better. Got this. Hey, 2 successes.
I didn't even set a difficulty, but we're gonna say it was 2, and you said 3 successes, right?
2.
2. Okay, you succeed. You grab it off of there. I'm gonna have you take 2 stress as its spindly legs clamp into your arm. And you feel it trying to break skin, but it's just not sharp enough.
Ugh.
Oh, Charlie's so gonna regret this. Charlie's gonna take that phaser and he's gonna shoot it point blank.
No!
We're gonna give you another. We're gonna give you an injury as you singe your hand. So
I don't
as
want to be
you
a Borg.
as you put it up, that's fine. As you put it up to the side of this thing and fire, it burns the entirety of what I'm assuming is your dominant hand.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah. So you, according to the rules, you fall prone, but realistically, like, you are injured now. So is Minkler, for the record, rules wise. But the 4 or 5 of you kind of form up around the transmitter.
I'm going to kneel down.
I can still talk. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, as we're forming up, I'm gonna kneel by you, or if you collapsed or not, and just apply whatever first aid I can to help alleviate, maybe back in the game a little bit.
And Charlie's going to keep talking through the pain. So he sounds really hurt by this. And Matt, this is Charlie's theory, so if I'm off, I'm just off.
No, go ahead.
I think it's the Borg consciousness. It had to escape from the. It was frozen. It had to escape. It discovered a way to broadcast itself, and now it's trying to take down the transmitter to summon more Borg and wake up the drones. So we have to stop it because now it's got lots of little machines and it's going to reactivate the transmitter.
Okay.
Also, it really hurts.
So we have to take apart the transmitter. Okay. Amara's gonna get to work.
So 2 things. Anbara knows there's a full shuttle in here,
Oh, okay.
which means there are fuel cells.
Ooh.
You don't have to take apart something if you blow it up.
Awesome.
And that seems like a very Anbara view of the world.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Cool.
So why don't you give me an insight engineering roll? It's going to be a difficulty of 3 to see if you can pinpoint where the power cells are.
All right. Let me find where I put my character sheet. There it is. All right. So it was insight and what?
Engineering.
Okay.
And we'll say electroplasma power systems does apply.
What?
Difficulty is 3.
How many momentum do we have?
We have 2.
I'm buying 1.
Okay.
Fuck! Mm. All right.
I think they're being attacked by the Borg.
What is the complication threshold?
18 to 20.
Yes. Okay. So I only got 2 successes, but I did not get a complication.
So you stand there and study the the wreckage for a second, and you can't quite make out where the power supplies would be. It's really a disassembled shuttle,
Okay.
and they've stacked it in whatever way. You're dealing with no light, really. You're looking with a flashlight. There's a lot going on here.
Okay.
I am fine spending the time, even if it puts my character at risk.
Fantastic. So you are going to take the time. So what's going to happen next is either you break concentration from looking, or you react to what's going to happen. So I just want you to make sure you're aware of that.
Ooh, I kind of want to react to what's going to happen.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Hold on just a second.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And before anything happened, while Umbara was doing all that, I would have been working with Commander Charlie. Is there any way I can reduce his or
Not in the time frame you have.
okay?
The injury will just last until the end of the scene or until he is healed. But that healing is going to take time that you probably don't have here in just a second.
Okay.
Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Here's a nice topical cream to help reduce that burn.
So as
You want
Umbara
some
is
herbs and spit on
scanning,
them?
as Umbara is scanning with her flashlight, Levram and Minkler are both kind of scanning around with their flashlights at the ground. Doctor, you feel something hit your shoulder. I need you to make a fitness security roll. It's going to be a difficulty of 3 as you are attacked by one of these things that dropped from the ceiling.
Does hand-to-hand combat apply as a focus here?
It does.
Okay. And how many? We're at 2, 4,
We're
1?
at 1 momentum.
Difficulty of 3, you said?
Yep.
I'm going to have to buy it, otherwise there's no way I'm going to get...
I would like to argue a couple of things. You have
Okay.
2 talents. I'm a doctor, not a, which means you're a doctor, not a combatant. So you could use your medicine in place.
Right, but that only applies for discipline with a score of 1. And I only have
does it?
1 in engineering.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Well, then maybe we should drop your security. No, then never mind. Then you can't apply bold medicine because that's what the next step was. But no, you're
Right.
good. Go ahead. So you roll your fitness security.
Or do we
with
want to
this
give Matt a what is it? Buy a dice for
What now?
So yeah, I can use ours to buy a dice, or I can give you a.
Oh, you can give me threat. It's the same exchange rate.
Do we
So
wanna
you've already
save-
bought 1. So the next one would be 2. You can give me 2 threat, or you can spend 2 momentum, but you don't have enough momentum.
Okay, so I can't just opt not to use that 1 momentum and give you.
We can put that momentum back and put you at 2 momentum, and you could give me 1 threat to get 1 dice, and then if you wanted a 4th dice, you could spin the 2 momentum.
Yeah. No, let's
to get
just
your
keep it 2 dice. I'm giving you a threat. Okay, so great. I got 3 successes because I rolled a 1.
Fantastic. That's
But
helpful.
I also rolled a complication.
Fantastic. So as you feel this thing land on your shoulder, you feel a pinch in your neck.
Ow.
And then the slightest bit of blood roll down your neck. And you whack it, and you hit it hard enough with your Klingon strength. It flies into the wall and kind of shatters apart.
Not to make anybody worried, but I just might have been injected with an.
Great.
Don't worry us.
All right. So we have to move faster than we wanted to. I am.
I'm sorry. You also take 2 stress.
2 stress. Thank you.
Doctor, is there anything that you can do to slow the progress of those things? Can we get an estimated time for how long you have before we need to restrain you?
I would like to back up. You have stopped looking for power cells now, right?
I imagine she is saying this while looking.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
I mean, I can't use any of our technology right now, and I guess being Starfleet, I would know the rate of a normal simulation.
Normal simulation is a matter of seconds.
Right.
Oh, great! All right, never mind.
However, these are you're getting attacked by comlinks.
Okay.
This isn't in the book.
Okay.
So, I mean, the fact that I haven't started losing consciousness is a good thing, so we might have some time.
Doctor, I would like you to make a control and half of reason roll.
How do I do that?
So you'll take control, which is 10.
Okay.
Half of your reason is 6.
Oh,
so
6. Okay,
16.
so I gotta
You're going to
roll
roll under a
16.
16. Stress disorders do apply.
Okay. What is my...
It's going to be a 4.
Jeez. Okay. Buying a dice.
Just one?
Stress order just applies. Yeah, I'll buy. Yeah.
1 dice? 2 dice?
I'm buying 2.
Yeah.
2. Okay.
You got this.
You're going to give me 1 threat and spend 2 momentum. That's the best way to do that.
Right, and so my focuses don't apply to this? No, stress orders, you said.
Stress disorders, so anything 5 or below, because I'm not going to give you 6 or below. That's just silly.
So that's 4, 5 successes.
Fantastic. So you get a momentum back.
Okay.
You do not begin to panic as you imagine feeling the nanites spreading through your body. And I want to make sure we say the word imagine there, because you're not sure.
Right.
But also, like, this is top tier things that Starfleet officers worry about.
Yeah.
As Ambara is kind of going through these things, Charlie, you're also kind of trying to figure out what's going on around you. You see a couple of skitters, and then you feel something on your leg.
Ah!
Now, I would like to remind you, one of your hands is no longer good, so you have no flashlight, because you've determined that you do have a phaser.
Yeah.
You can still whack it with your hand, but, like, do what you want to do.
Well, Charlie is a cool, calm, steady cat. You know, he's just under pressure, does not crack at all. So he's going to do what he did last time. That worked really well. And he's going to fire blindly at it. So
Give me a fitness security. This sounds like a great
Oh, no.
idea.
Oh no!
this is going to be the greatest idea you've never heard. Two successes. That's surprised
Fantastic.
you.
So you hit whatever's on your leg, and also the tricorder in that tricorder pocket on your leg. Blast them both. Like, you can hear them clattering on the ground. You could feel a hole in the pants of your leg now, but not in your leg. So that's good. Probably a minor burn there, but we're not even going to call that stress. Like, that was a good shot, luckily.
Apparently, I'm just the greatest shot in the ship. Just saying. Apparently,
You have only
Didn't
hit
even know
yourself
that.
once.
But he was aiming for himself.
That's true. Anbara, can you give me another insight and engineering? Again, it's going to be a difficulty of 4. We have 1 momentum.
Oh God.
He learns that if she does not solve this situation soon, Charlie will just keep shooting himself left, right, center.
All right. I'm going to use the last momentum we have, and I'll buy another dice with threat if that's cool for people.
Yeah.
So
go for
you
it.
would be giving me 2 threat, just for the record, and I'm fine with that. I think that's a great idea. That puts me at 8 threat, and you at 0 momentum.
I think that's the lowest I've ever had it in a game.
All right. I got 4 successes finally.
Fantastic. So we're going to generate 1 success, or 1 momentum.
Okay.
You see the power cells, and on a quick estimation in your brain on what they are, the size they are, doing quick math, the entire cave is gone as soon as you hit them.
Okay.
In fact, anything outside of that cave entrance in a cone outwards
Yeah.
might also be gone. It's possible for you guys to move quick enough and get out of the way to shoot this and make it explode and not kill all 5 of you.
Okay.
Preferable.
But that means that probably the doctor is carrying Minkler.
And I don't have enough time probably to quickly jury rig something on a remote trigger.
No.
Okay,
No, there's
all right.
there's you would have to disassemble something. Like, that's a
Yeah.
good 2 minutes worth of work. Easily.
Can't we
How-
set a phaser just self-destruct? Don't they have that functionality?
OSHA requirements actually had those removed.
Oh man, I can't figure out how to override it with, like, Bajoran
What really frustrates me is that, yes, you are absolutely correct and also absolutely wrong, because in separate episodes they have contradicted themselves. But yes, you could program the phaser and chuck it and let it explode next to the power cells, which would do essentially the same thing.
Okay, let's try to do that, because that'll buy us a little more time.
Sure. What I need from everyone. Well, first let's go with Jen.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Anbara. Anbara,
Yeah.
you're going to give me a fitness security roll. The difficulty is going to be a 3, and this is to chuck the phaser at the right area.
Oh no. Okay.
I would argue
Yeah.
values. If you use a point of determination, which you automatically have,
Yes.
you can use that determination to trigger a value to give you 2 successes.
Okay, I definitely want to do that, and I'm going to use my family is who you choose value.
Oh, I'm on the wrong character. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. Cause gosh darn it.
I was on Charlie's and I was like, protective of the crew sounds like oh, that's Charlie.
Yeah. All right.
So all you need is 1 success on 2 dice.
Okay.
You got
okay.
this.
So
Oh God.
I did get it, but I also got a complication.
That's fantastic.
No, it's not.
You throw the phaser. It bounces. It slides right underneath the fuel cell. The 5 of you book it. I need everyone to give me. We're gonna say daring and security.
Oh God.
This is a difficulty of 6 for the 3 of you. So total, all of you need to get 6 total.
Okay.
Am I at a penalty because I'm hurt?
Nope. This is running. This is running, and the only person that would be at a penalty, Haskins is going to pick up. So Minkler, you're scooping him.
Okay,
we should definitely use the 1 momentum we have.
Well, actually, I'm going to use one of my points of determination. Driven to ease suffering. That's me helping Minkler. Yeah? No?
I would say only because your other value, no retreat, no surrender, is in direct opposition to this.
Oh yeah, that's the problem, isn't it?
You could challenge that, and then we can come up with a different value. There's a whole system for this where your character changes because of this. Like, this would be a pivotal moment for your character. You still spend the determination, you oppose that thing, and you can do it, but it will change your character intrinsically. I'm all for that. I think it's great character growth and a good opportunity and a good reason for it.
I think it'd be
I'm for it. Yeah, I'm for it.
Okay.
So I still roll, right? My normal.
Everybody rolls, but you guys already have 2 successes.
Cool. Also, as a note,
There's 4.
So 4 total for me with my determination and that.
Well, that's 6, depending on what Anbara got, which is 2 complications. 2 complications? 4 complications. 8
2 complications is what I rolled.
So the 5 of you make it out.
No, I did not roll successes. I rolled 2.
No, that's okay. No,
okay,
but
great.
I got 2 off of the dice.
Okay.
2 off of the other dice, and then 2 from the determination. So that we're good.
Okay,
we got the
good.
6. That doesn't mean bad things won't happen.
Okay.
The 5 of you get outside. Minkler is not all that heavy. He's a wiry young lad. As the 4 of you get out, Leverum is the last one out. The explosion goes off and singes off the hair of the Cation. So, there's this smell of burning hair, and then you notice in this bright flash, one of the comm badges, still active, hit the ground, get up, and skitter off into the darkness.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. So Charlie, you can fire. I would like to like to let you know that this is going to be a difficulty of 4. You're firing kind of in the dark. There's just been an explosion. This is a very quick shot. Anybody that wants to fire, it's a difficulty of 4, and I'm all for that.
Is there any more momentum?
blew up.
There is 1 momentum.
Take it.
Okay, hold on.
Charlie is the best sharpshooter. Let's go.
Okay, I'm just looking through everything. I don't feel dynamics going to apply.
None of your focus supply.
Yeah, I'm a science person.
I would say there is a value that applies.
Which one?
Protective of the crew. You can't let that thing out there. It's going to kill the crew.
Mm-hmm.
You could spend a point of determination to get 2 successes. That would still leave you with 2 dice to roll to get 4 successes.
I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You could still spend momentum or give me threat. That's also an option.
Yeah, by the momentum, to roll 3 dice.
Yeah.
And then with your determination. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. All right. We got this. We're going to shoot that thing. We're going to save the planet. Everybody's going to be happy. Maybe they'll finally turn up the thermostat on the ship.
The Haitian's not going to be happy. She's going to take forever to recover.
Leverum. Poor Leverum.
This isn't promising so far. We needed 3 total successes to hit it.
You needed 2 on the dice.
You got 2 from determination.
I got 1.
Okay.
So we got 3 total.
You fire and you hit the thing. You see a leg fly off, and it goes, but it is slowed. Would anyone else like to take a shot?
My phaser blew up.
That's
so
true.
I can't.
I'm going.
Can Minkler take a shot?
Yeah, sure. He's firing. He's firing off of a 12. So somebody's gonna have to roll that because Matt didn't actually break out his dice because he didn't expect to roll anything tonight. I was just gonna make you guys react to the terrible things I was doing to you.
I'll roll it.
And he actually crits on a 4.
Oh, cool. He gets a success and a complication.
Well, it's hard to fire when you're it's hard to fire a phaser when you're being fireman carried by a Klingon medical.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that as threat because I don't have anything else I think I can do with the complication at this point in time except shoot one of you, and that seems really, really mean.
Yeah.
Kind of funny, still really mean. Good news though, for like half a second, Charlie and Anbara, it is so nice and warm.
Yeah.
It's so wonderfully warm. That chill goes out of your bones. The cold in the cave goes away. There is a definite smell of like burned flesh in the air. And you're kind of in the dark with something still out there.
Okay. So then I guess my question is Leverum? They're just singed, right? They're not injured?
They're not injured. They just like are missing a lot of their hair. And they're a cat person, so like
their pride is wounded severely.
They look a little ridiculous, but they're alive.
Okay. So then I think what we should do is me and Leverum will try to chase after the thing. It is slowed, so hopefully we can catch up and shoot it. I will require someone's phaser. The rest of you get to the encampment. Doc, get yourself checked out and all the things. And Charlie.
So,
yeah.
For firing, and I'm going to let Sean, you can do this.
Okay.
Lever rolls on a 16, he crits on a 5.
Okay.
So the 2 of you go. I'm first going to need you guys to do an insight security. He is at a 17 on that.
Okay. Ooh, that's 2 successes, a 9 and a 5.
I also got 2 successes.
That's actually 3 successes because he crits on a 5, but that's okay. So that's a lot of successes. You 2 track that thing down. Leverum is a bloodhound, obviously.
Yes.
That's not right to say about a cat person.
Oh, shit.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Leverum is like a stalking tiger. How about that? I like that better. Yeah. Leverum kind of leads you along. You're following pretty quickly behind him. You feel pretty solid about your situation. I'm going to give you guys 3 momentum from that roll.
Nice.
And then you kind of spot it running across a flat area, and both of you can fire. Difficulty is 3 because it's
Okay.
moving quickly.
I'm buying a dice.
Go for it.
Do you want the NPC to buy dice too? Do we want that?
Might
That's
as
your
well.
call. Yeah.
Might as well. Let's see. It's in fitness and security.
Yep.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that would be 11. In which case, 3 successes.
And what is it for?
17, and you crit on 5.
Okay, so that's actually 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
It's fantastic. So the you both turn and fire, and kind of at the same time hit this thing, and it's destroyed. Meanwhile, Haskins and Charlie, you two are carrying Minkler back. He's not so injured he can't walk, but he's going to slow you down quite a bit. And it's just the good news about having these species traits is, as a Klingon, you don't have super strength, but you do because you're Klingon, so you can just carry people. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So you guys walk the 3 kilometers back to the settlement. Everything seems pretty hunky-dory, but also considering that you're covered in like ash and soot, and some of like Minkler's been cut open, and uniforms are shot or destroyed, a hand is burned, and then like 20 minutes behind you comes Anbara and Levram, and they don't look much better. The doctors kind of pull you aside, or pull you apart. Commander Halata relieves you of immediate duty, Doctor, and commands you to be looked at. And it's probably a half an hour later after Minkler's going to need some work on the ship. That leg was a quick thing. Charlie, your hand is it's like stiff, but that's about it. So the injury's gone.
Use that lotion.
It was that lotion, yeah. It was the dermal regenerator, obviously. Halata comes up and says, Commander, report?
The source of the virus appears to have been a mutated version of the Borg assimilation tech that was being broadcast on a transceiver, and we found the source was effectively in stasis via a cold fusion generator of some sort, and there were a few of the original crew that had been assimilated that were left in stasis. Dr. Haskins, I'm sorry, Commander Haskins had said that there was a possibility that the process could be reversed. We went to try to communicate with the Serenitis, which is when our communicators were assimilated. And from there, it became very quickly that the situation was untenable, and the only result that we were left with was to eliminate the source of the virus completely.
We saw an explosion. There was a flash of light.
Yes.
It was a few seconds later that the unit in the command tent came back on.
Yes.
It has some information that might be of interest. She leads the 3 of you over, and as you look, it looks like the ship's logs have been from the shuttle have been transmitted into this computer.
Oh.
What?
Can I get a reason and engineering roll from Anbara, and computer expertise would apply.
What does
Charlie, you can
computer
assist with that as
expertise
well.
do again?
It gives you an extra dice.
Sweet.
I assist for 1.
And it's a difficulty of 3, so you only need
Yeah.
to roll a total of 2.
All right. I get
206.
Yeah, I get 3 successes.
Fantastic. So that's 1 more momentum, so you're at 3. So reading through the log, there are some personal logs in there from your uncle.
Oh.
It became clear that the mission of the ship, the big ship, was to study the Borg pieces that they had captured in a safe location. When it became clear after 2 of the crew had been infected and assimilated, they put them and some scientists and members of the Obsidian Order onto a shuttle, hoping that they would be able to study it there safely. The shuttle had some sort of distress and crashed. After that happened, your uncle set up what essentially caused these. He realized that the cold would stop the Cardassians. So even if they were assimilated, the biological functions would stop, which would stop anything technology working, because they rely on each other. And so he and the other Cardassian that you found dead unassimilated set that up, but before they could finish, their phasers were assimilated and attacked them with a great deal of force. But that was kind of the end of it. And it looks as though part of the reason they had so much trouble is one of the crew members had Rigelian fever.
Oh.
And it reacts in Cardassians as a carrier, not as an actual active virus. So that's that between the virus interacting with the assimilation and the Cardassians' metabolism and how their body handles it, it just put together this singular, interesting place. And the commander looks up after you guys have spent probably an hour studying this and says, I think that this is perhaps a good time for a joint paper to Starfleet Medical and Starfleet Engineering and Starfleet Science that would walk through what has happened here. Obviously, we can't study it any further, but with these logs, I think, and your experiences, there's a great deal of information that would be helpful in the future. Mostly to keep the Borg away from Rigelian fever, I think, is the first concern.
I agree. But if I may make a request, Commander.
Of course.
If I can please be relieved of duty for the next couple of hours, there are some rites that I would like to observe, please.
Commander, you are relieved of duty for the next 48 hours. Until that time has passed, or until we're on the ship and everything is safe, you are off duty. And actually, that goes for Commander Charlie and the doctor as well. You've been through enough today. I think it's time to take some rest.
Did they find any nanites?
Oh, no, you were fine.
Okay.
Oh.
Literally just got stabbed with a piece of metal.
Okay. Oh, it was a faux injection. They gave you the placebo.
Charlie's going to try to catch up with Onbara and be like, my friend, do you want someone to observe these funeral rites? Observe them with you?
I would not like to be alone. So,
From one person to another that has complicated family matters, I'm here if you as well.
thank you.
And then Charlie starts spouting a lot of Klingon culture about death rites, because that is exactly what Charlie would do in this instance. Tell me I'm wrong.
You are wrong. I can't believe how that's obscene. Cardassian death rites, because it's a Cardassian died horribly, probably in a lot of pain. I mean,
you don't have Cardassian culture as a focus.
So, basically, Umbara would kind of like lead Charlie like somewhere into the wilderness, where it seems like private enough, and then just kind of like sort of collapse onto the ground and scream into the sky with absolutely everything she has.
Charlie kind of just looks around awkwardly and then flops on the ground and starts screaming.
Oh!
Kind of look at both of them, shrug, and join in. I mean, that's the Klingon way.
Yep. And she basically keeps screaming until her voice runs ragged and hoarse. And as it becomes clear that it is too difficult for her to continue doing this, like, that is when the tears start to flow, which just seems to make her like more angry. um, and yeah, she just kind of like slumps over, just completely and emotionally exhausted.
It is 3 days later when everyone returns to the ship. Doctor, you've been given reports that as soon as the explosion happened, the antivirals went from being somewhat effective to completely effective and overly effective, as though the pulse was bolstering the virus itself. Everyone on the ground is either in the last bits of recovery or is fully recovered. All of the colony systems are back up online, and everything seems to be going well. The Serenite stays there for a couple more days before it is given orders to bombard the cave area to make sure that everything there has been destroyed.
Nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Yep.
And I'm sure someone's thought of this,
Yeah.
but they've already done scans to make sure there's nothing on the surface that's board tech. Or...
Correct.
Yeah.
And there will be a Starfleet security survey team making sure that there are no more caves that could have caused the same issue. The systems on the computer were affected, but it was caught quickly enough. It wasn't a big deal. No one on the ship caught Rigelian fever because it was kept out of the replicator systems. And everything goes on according to normal ship business in less than a week. As you warp out to your next mission.
Well, Minkler, you have another scar to add to your collection.
Yeah. He hobbles around for a couple of days and really plays into it. Right. We're gonna end a little early tonight. That hit all my story beats that I wanted to hit. So hey, we have a game coming up next Monday. That is going to be Pieces of the Fraction. Is that right? You're in charge of this, Sarah.
Yeah.
A piece of the fraction. So don't forget that you can go over to Discord and join us there. We have a good community over there. They've got a lot of stuff going on, and it's a lot of fun. I really encourage everyone to go join. You can also find us on Twitter and on YouTube. All of those links are in the chat, and you should definitely click on those. If you haven't already, please join us over there. Thank you again for joining us tonight, and we will be back next week at the same time. Until then, we will talk to you later.